I'm sitting in this dingy motel room at 32 years old, trying to wrap my head around the fact that my entire life just collapsed. My wife Rachel, 29, literally tossed my belongings onto the front lawn yesterday and had the locks changed before I could blink. The reason? Her nightmare of a mother set me up to look like I was having an affair. Let me rewind and explain how I ended up here. My mother-in-law, Patricia, has despised me from the moment Rachel introduced us. When I got down on one knee to propose, Patricia cried, but these weren't tears of joy. These were the kind of tears that screamed, "You're destroying everything I planned for my daughter." At our wedding reception, she showed up in a white dress and delivered a toast about how marriage meant settling for less than you deserved. The woman is a certified nightmare. Rachel and I have been married for 4 years now, and honestly, things have been solid between us. The one constant source of tension. Patricia. She lives 15 minutes down the road and acts like our home belongs to her. She barges in without calling first, moves our furniture around to suit her taste, and picks apart every single thing I do. I work in information technology, make good money, and treat Rachel like she's the center of my universe. None of it matters to Patricia. In her eyes, I'll never measure up. 2 days ago, I pulled into our driveway around 6 in the evening after a typical Tuesday at the office. Rachel stood there with Patricia beside her, both wearing expressions like someone had just died. "Hey babe, what's going on?" I called out as I stepped out of my car. Rachel's face looked carved from stone. "We need to talk. Inside. Right now." The atmosphere felt heavy with dread as we walked into the house, Patricia trailing behind us like she owned the place. "Do you want to explain this?" Rachel held up a tube of lipstick, bright red and clearly expensive. "Explain what?" "I've never seen that before in my life." "Really?" "Because I found this in your car today, tucked under the passenger seat." My mind went completely blank. "What are you talking about?" "That's impossible." "I don't even." Patricia cut me off with her venomous tone. "Oh please, stop lying. We found it this afternoon. My daughter was retrieving something from your vehicle, and there it was, rolling around beneath the seat. I have no idea how that got there, but it's definitely not mine, and I am absolutely not cheating on you." Rachel's eyes glistened with tears. "This is the exact shade I saw on that woman at your company party last month. The one you claimed was just a colleague. She is just a colleague. I've never touched her or anyone else. You know that." Patricia scoffed dramatically. "Men always say that. My ex-husband fed me the same lies before I discovered the hotel receipts hidden in his briefcase." "I'm not your ex-husband, Patricia." "No, you're worse." At least he showed some guilt when I confronted him. This argument spiraled for over an hour. I kept denying everything while Rachel cried and Patricia poisoned her mind with statements like, "Where there's smoke, there's always fire," and "Trust your instincts, sweetheart. He's gaslighting you." Finally, Rachel delivered the words that shattered everything. "I want you out of this house tonight. Pack your things and leave." "Are you actually serious right now?" "Completely serious. My mother is staying here until we sort this out. I can't even stand to look at you." "Your mother is staying in our house." Patricia actually smiled at that moment. The satisfaction on her face made my blood boil. Someone needs to support my daughter through this betrayal. I lost my composure. I didn't betray anyone. This is absolutely insane. Rachel pointed toward the door. "Get out." I grabbed whatever clothes I could stuff into a bag, threw in my toiletries and laptop, and drove straight to this motel. I sat in the parking lot for an hour, completely numb, before I remembered something crucial. 6 months earlier, I'd installed a high-quality Dashcam in my car, one of those models that keeps recording even when the engine is off, triggered by motion sensors. I'd completely forgotten about it after the installation. I pulled up the app on my phone and scrolled back to yesterday afternoon. The footage appeared at 1:47 p.m. Patricia's car pulled up next to mine in our driveway. She climbed out, looked around like a cartoon villain checking for witnesses, then tried my car door. Locked. She pulled out what had to be Rachel's spare key, the one I didn't even know my wife had given her. She opened the passenger door, leaned inside for roughly 30 seconds, then walked away. The camera captured everything with crystal clarity: her face, her license plate, and most damning of all, the lipstick tube clutched in her hand as she approached my vehicle. I sat there watching the footage repeatedly. This woman had deliberately framed me, planted false evidence to destroy my marriage, and Rachel had believed her without a moment's hesitation. The rage that hit me wasn't the hot, explosive kind. It was cold and calculating. I downloaded the video and created 3 backup copies across different cloud storage services. Then I sent it to Rachel with a simple caption: "Enjoy living with your mom." After that, I turned off my phone and tried unsuccessfully to sleep. 48 hours passed before I turned my phone back on. The screen lit up with over 80 missed calls, roughly half from Rachel, the rest split between Patricia, Rachel's sister Madison, and her father George. The text messages painted a chaotic picture. From Rachel: "Call me immediately. Why didn't you mention you had a dashcam? I'm so sorry. Please come home. My mom is standing here lying to my face, claiming that's not her in the video. We desperately need to talk." From Patricia: "That video is clearly edited. I was simply checking whether you'd locked the car properly. You probably planted that lipstick yourself to frame me. My daughter deserves better than you. Delete that video immediately." From Madison: "What the hell did my mom do? She's having a complete meltdown. Call your wife. She's falling apart." I didn't respond to any of them. Instead, I called a divorce attorney that morning and scheduled a consultation for Monday. Here's the reality that Rachel needed to face: she'd thrown me out without asking questions, without giving me the benefit of the doubt. For years of marriage, and she'd chosen to believe her mother's setup over me. That broke something fundamental inside me. As for Patricia, she'd attempted to destroy my entire life simply because she'd never approved of me. How does anyone come back from that kind of betrayal? Rachel showed up at the motel around noon. The front desk called my room first, bless their professionalism. "Sir, there's a woman here asking for your room number. She says she's your wife. Don't give her that information. I'll come down to the lobby." I found her waiting there, looking absolutely wrecked. Her eyes were bloodshot, her hair was a mess, and she was still wearing yesterday's clothes. "Ethan, please. Can we talk? We're talking right now. Not here in the lobby. Somewhere private. Come home with me. That's not my home anymore. You made that abundantly clear. I made a terrible mistake. I'm so sorry. My mom lied to me. She planted that lipstick. I must have watched that video 50 times. I'm so incredibly sorry." "Cool. Apology noted. That's it. Just cool. What exactly do you want me to say, Rachel? You kicked me out based solely on your mother's word. You didn't question anything. You didn't trust me. For years together, and you believed I'd cheat based on a tube of lipstick and your mother's paranoia." She started crying. "Please, I'll fix this. My mom is leaving today. I told her she's not welcome in our house anymore. We can repair this. Your mom is leaving." Wow, how generous of you. The woman who tried to frame me for adultery gets to just walk away. What about consequences? What do you want me to do? I don't know yet, but I do know I'm not coming back right now. Are you going to divorce me? I'm meeting with a lawyer on Monday. We'll see what happens after that. Her face turned pale. You can't be serious. Over one mistake. One mistake. Your mother committed multiple crimes. She broke into my car and planted false evidence. That's illegal, Rachel. And you were complicit by throwing me out without any real proof. I didn't know what she'd done. Exactly. You didn't know, but you acted anyway. What happens the next time your mom decides she doesn't approve of something I do? Is she going to plant drugs in my car? Tell you I hit her? Where does this end? She had no answer for that. Go home, Rachel. Live with the choices you made. I need space to think. How long will that take? As long as it takes. She left sobbing. I felt bad for maybe 2 seconds, then I remembered watching that dashcam footage of her mother sneaking around my car like a common criminal. An hour later, George called. He's normally the calm, reasonable one who stays out of family drama. Son, I watched that video. I don't even have words for what Patricia did. I'm so sorry this happened. It's not your fault, George. I told Rachel she was completely wrong to throw you out like that. And I told Patricia she's no longer welcome in my house until she apologizes to you properly, not that I expect that to happen. I appreciate your support, but honestly, I don't think her apology would mean much at this point. I understand completely. Just don't give up on my daughter yet. She loves you deeply. She just has this blind spot when it comes to her mother. That blind spot almost destroyed my reputation and my marriage. I know, and I'll talk to her about getting help for that. Just give her a chance to make this right. We'll see where things go. The entitlement from these people was absolutely unbelievable. Patricia actually sent me a text message that evening. If you truly loved my daughter, you'd come home immediately and stop being so dramatic about this. Dramatic? I'm the one being dramatic. Not the woman who broke into my car to plant evidence of an affair that never happened. The audacity was staggering. I stopped answering calls for the rest of that day. The meeting with the lawyer was scheduled for Monday, and after that conversation, I'd figure out my next steps. 1 week later, the situation had spiraled into absolute chaos. My Monday meeting with the divorce attorney laid everything out clearly. I showed him the confrontation details, the dashcam video, and explained how I'd been forced out of my own home. He watched the footage twice and shook his head in disbelief. This is gold. Literal video evidence of her mother committing a crime. You could absolutely press charges against her. Can I really do that? Breaking and entering, criminal mischief, potentially filing a false report if your wife had taken this to the police. With this video evidence, she's looking at criminal charges, minimum a misdemeanor, possibly more. What about the divorce? That's the real question. Do you want a divorce, or do you want leverage? I spent the entire session talking through every possible option. I left his office with a clear plan of action. Tuesday morning, I composed an email to Rachel and copied Patricia on it. The tone was professional and cold. After consulting with my legal counsel, I'm prepared to press criminal charges against your mother for breaking into my vehicle and planting false evidence. The dashcam footage provides clear, time-stamped proof of her actions. However, I'm willing to forego legal action if the following conditions are met by 5 p.m. this Friday. 1. Your mother provides a written apology admitting to her illegal actions. 2. Your mother agrees to have zero contact with me moving forward. 3. You attend marriage counseling with me for a minimum of 3 months. 4. You publicly admit to our friends and family that you were wrong and that I remained faithful. 5. Your mother is permanently banned from our home. If these conditions aren't met by the deadline, I'm filing a police report and proceeding with divorce. The response came immediately and was completely unhinged. Patricia called from a blocked number. I answered, thinking it was work-related. How dare you threaten me? I will not apologize for protecting my daughter. You didn't protect her, Patricia. You tried to destroy her marriage. Because you're not good enough for her. She could have married a doctor, a successful lawyer, someone with real ambition. Instead, she settled for some IT worker who plays video games in his spare time. And that justification gave you the right to frame me for cheating. I didn't frame anyone. You probably planted that lipstick yourself to gain sympathy. I have video footage of you doing it. That video is fake. My son-in-law works in technology. He could easily edit footage like that. Your son-in-law. I thought I wasn't good enough to be called that. Don't twist my words around. You're trying to manipulate my daughter against me. No, Patricia. That's been your job for years, and you're about to lose that control. She hung up on me. 2 hours later, Rachel called. Can we please talk face to face? Just the two of us. Coffee shop on 5th Street. 1 hour. Don't bring your mother. We met at the designated spot. She looked terrible, like she hadn't slept in days. I ordered black coffee and waited for her to speak. Your email was incredibly harsh, Ethan. The truth usually is harsh. My mom is absolutely freaking out. She keeps saying you're trying to control me by threatening her. I'm protecting myself from someone who committed crimes against me. I'm offering not to press charges if she admits what she did. That's more than fair. She won't do it. She's too proud. She keeps insisting the video must be doctored or edited. Then I'm filing a police report on Friday as promised. Can't you just let this go? For us. For our marriage. I actually laughed out loud at that. Let it go. Your mother tried to destroy my entire life, and you want me to just forget about it. She's still my mother. And I'm still your husband. Or did you forget that when you threw my belongings onto the lawn? She went silent at that. Here's what I don't understand, I continued. You haven't asked me once how I'm doing, whether I'm okay after all this. You're only worried about protecting your mother from facing consequences for her actions. That's not fair. You want to talk about fair? Being accused of cheating when I've never even looked at another woman. Being thrown out of my own house. Sitting alone in a motel room watching video footage of your mother framing me. None of that was fair, Rachel. I said I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this. Your mother needs to face reality. She messed up badly, and there need to be consequences. You need to decide whose side you're on here. Why do I have to pick sides? Because your mother committed crimes against me, and you enabled those actions by believing her without question. So yes, you need to pick a side. She started crying again. I love you. I love my mom. Why can't we just move past this nightmare? Moving past it requires her to admit what she did, apologize sincerely, and never interfere in our marriage again. Those are my non-negotiable terms. She'll never agree to that. Then you've already made your choice, haven't you? I left her sitting there alone. I felt terrible walking away, but also strangely free, like I was finally standing up for myself instead of tolerating her mother's toxic behavior. Wednesday brought an unexpected development. Madison, Rachel's sister, reached out. Hey Ethan, can I buy you lunch? I really want to talk about everything that's happened. We met at a restaurant downtown. She didn't waste time with small talk. My mom is completely losing it. She's called a family meeting for tonight, planning to get everyone to gang up on you and pressure you to drop everything. Of course she is. That's her standard playbook. But here's the thing. I'm not going to that meeting. Neither is my husband. We're completely done with her manipulation. This genuinely surprised me. Really? Ethan, I watched that video. Mom has always been controlling and manipulative with all of us, but this crosses every line. She literally tried to destroy your marriage through criminal actions, and now she's playing the victim. I'm done enabling her behavior. What does Rachel think about you taking this position? She's upset with me right now. Mom has done similar things in my relationship too, nothing this extreme, but constant subtle comments about how my husband isn't ambitious enough, doesn't make enough money, isn't good enough for me. We're over it. Does Rachel know you feel this way? We had a long conversation yesterday. I told her straight up that Mom has been toxic our entire lives, and this situation is just the final proof we needed. Rachel didn't want to hear it at first. She's still defending Mom's actions. That doesn't surprise me. But I told her directly that you're absolutely right to demand an apology and establish boundaries. What Mom did is completely unforgivable. This conversation gave me a small glimmer of hope. At least someone in this family had their head on straight. Thursday night, Rachel called with an update from the family meeting. Everyone met tonight like Mom planned. Let me guess. They all think I'm the villain in this story. Some of them do. Aunt Carol thinks you're overreacting. Uncle Richard thinks you should just forget the whole thing ever happened. What about Madison and her husband? They showed up, listened for about 10 minutes, then walked out. Before leaving, they told everyone exactly what they thought of Mom's behavior. It got really intense. Good for them. They're the only sane ones in your family. My dad stayed mostly quiet during the meeting. Then right at the end, he said if you decide to press charges against Mom, he won't blame you one bit. Your parents are fighting over this. They're sleeping in separate rooms now. Dad has had enough of Mom's behavior too. It's like this whole situation opened his eyes to patterns he'd been ignoring for decades. And Patricia? She's still absolutely refusing to apologize. She keeps insisting she did nothing wrong, that you're making everything up, that the video is somehow fake. She's in complete denial. That's not my problem to fix, Rachel. I know. I just don't know what to do anymore. You follow the conditions I outlined. Go to counseling with me. Make a public admission about what really happened. Keep your mother away from both of us permanently. If you can't commit to those terms, then we're done. You'd really divorce me over this? I divorce you for choosing your lying, manipulative mother over your husband. Yes, absolutely. Friday arrived, bringing my deadline with it. The day passed in complete silence. No written apology from Patricia. No agreement to my terms. Nothing but radio silence from everyone. Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, I walked into the police station and filed an official report. I showed the officer on duty the dashcam video and explained the entire situation in detail. He watched the footage twice, then shook his head in disbelief. This is as clear-cut as it gets. Obvious breaking and entering, criminal mischief. We'll send an officer to take her statement this afternoon. What happens after that? Depends on whether the district attorney wants to prosecute, but with video evidence this clear, she's looking at minimum a misdemeanor charge. Possibly more serious charges if they decide to push it. I left the station feeling strange, not satisfied or vindicated, just like I'd done something necessary. 2 hours later, my phone rang. It was George. The police just left our house. Patricia is having a complete meltdown. I warned everyone this would happen if the conditions weren't met. I know you did, and I'm not calling to ask you to drop the charges. I'm actually calling to tell you that I'm filing for divorce too. That revelation stopped me in my tracks. What? I've been married to this woman for 33 years. I've watched her manipulate our daughters, drive away their friends, and cause drama everywhere she goes. I always made excuses, she means well, she's just being protective, she loves our kids too much. But this? Framing her son-in-law for adultery and destroying her daughter's marriage? I'm completely done. George, I'm sorry you're going through this. Don't be sorry. I should have done this years ago. Rachel's seeing a therapist now, by the way. Starting Monday. She's finally admitted that her mother has been controlling her entire life. Is she doing okay? No, but she will be eventually. She asked me to tell you that she understands if you want a divorce. She won't fight you on it, but she's hoping you'll give her a chance to prove she can change and break free from her mother's influence. I didn't know how to respond to that information. The following week turned into a complete blur. Patricia got formally charged with misdemeanor breaking and entering plus criminal mischief. Her attorney tried to argue it was all a misunderstanding, that she'd had permission to access my vehicle. The dashcam footage showing her looking around suspiciously before using the key, combined with her text messages to Rachel about finally having proof he's cheating, completely destroyed that defense. She ended up taking a plea deal, no jail time, but 1 year of probation, mandatory anger management counseling, and a restraining order keeping her 500 feet away from me at all times. The restraining order had been my lawyer's suggestion. She's already proven she'll commit crimes against you. Protect yourself with legal barriers. Rachel and I met for coffee again 2 weeks after my deadline had passed. I'm in therapy 3 times a week now, working through a lot of difficult realizations. That's good. You need professional help to process all this. My therapist says my mom has been emotionally abusive my entire life. I just never recognized it as abuse because it was my normal, you know. It's all I ever knew. I tried telling you that for years, Rachel. I know, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything. For not believing you, for choosing her over you, for not seeing what she was doing to both of us. I appreciate you saying that. My dad moved out last week. He's staying with Madison and her husband now. Mom is completely alone, and she's losing her mind over it. She calls me 20 times a day crying about how everyone abandoned her and how this is all your fault. Do you answer her calls? No. My therapist said I need complete space from her, maybe forever. I blocked her number yesterday. We sat in silence for several moments, both processing everything. I saw the divorce papers your lawyer sent over, she said quietly. I understand why you're doing this. I don't blame you at all. I actually haven't filed them yet. She looked up, genuinely surprised. Why not? Because I'm trying to figure out if there's anything left worth saving here. You hurt me in ways I'm still processing, Rachel. I don't know if I can ever trust you again the way I used to. I want to try. I want to prove to you that I can stand up to her, that I choose you over her. I know I should have done that from the very beginning. Yes, you absolutely should have. Will you come to counseling with me? Even if we end up getting divorced anyway, maybe we can at least get some closure and understanding. I agreed to try. We started couples therapy 3 days later. The first session was incredibly rough, with lots of crying, mostly from Rachel. The therapist asked me a direct question. What do you need from Rachel to even consider moving forward? I need to know she'll have my back unconditionally. That she won't automatically believe the worst about me without solid evidence. That her mother will never be allowed to manipulate us again. Can you actually do that? The therapist turned to Rachel. Yes, I swear I can. My mom is completely cut off from my life. I'm changing everything. I'm getting the help I need. We'll see if that's true. As of today, I'm still living in this motel room. I'm not ready to go back to the house yet, not sure if I ever will be. We're doing counseling sessions twice a week. Rachel is doing individual therapy 4 times a week, really working on herself. George texts me occasionally with supportive messages. Madison calls regularly to check on how I'm holding up. As for Patricia, the last I heard, she's telling anyone who will listen that I'm abusive and controlling, that I fabricated the video evidence, that I'm stealing her daughter away from her. Nobody is buying her story anymore. She lost her entire family in one self-destructive move. Do I feel bad for her? Not even a little bit. She made her choices, and now she's living with the consequences. Rachel sent me a long email last night, pages and pages of apologies, promises, and admissions about everything she did wrong. She ended it with, I know I don't deserve another chance, but if you give me one, I'll spend the rest of my life proving you made the right choice. I don't know if I believe her yet. Trust is incredibly hard to rebuild once it's been shattered so completely. But here's what I do know for certain, I'm not the same person I was 3 weeks ago. I stood up for myself, set firm boundaries, and refused to be the punching bag for a toxic mother-in-law and an enabling wife anymore. Whatever happens next, whether we reconcile or divorce, I'm doing it entirely on my terms. The divorce papers are still sitting on my lawyer's desk, and signed for now. They'll stay there until I'm completely sure one way or the other. Maybe Rachel and I can fix this broken marriage. Maybe we can't. But I'm never going back to how things were before, where I kept my mouth shut while Patricia disrespected me and Rachel allowed it to happen. That version of our relationship is dead and buried. For now, I'm focused on my therapy sessions, my work, and taking care of myself. Everything else will figure itself out in time. To everyone who thinks I should have just forgiven and forgotten, I say this, some things you don't let go. Some people need to face real consequences for their actions. Patricia tried to destroy my life through calculated deception and criminal behavior. She failed, and now she's facing the fallout completely alone. That's not revenge. That's just reality finally catching up to someone who thought they were above consequences.